So if you could only play one course, Davy, which wasn't Muir, what course would that be?
Oh, I'd have to say.
Hi folks, so we're here today at Muir Golf Club, just north of Inverness, James Braid design, and I'm here with new club captain Davy Hollinger. Week 2 of your captainship,
Yes,
Davy?
it is, yes.
How did you come to join Muir back in the day?
Well, I was actually in another golf club and I was on night shift and everybody kept telling me about Muir Golf Club. So I thought I'll come out and give it a try, so I did. And I was really impressed with it. And when I came into the bar to have a coffee, I was sitting there and having a small cigar.
Okay.
And this chap come bounding in and stood at the bar and took a look at me and went, "Is that coffee?" I went, "Yeah." So he got me a coffee and then, "That's not a cigar, that's a cigar," he says, "have that." And then he starts going on about the club and the course and, "Do you enjoy the course?" He says, "That was excellent." He says, "Oh, it's a real family club." He says, "You should really come and join it." And by the time he left, I was sort of fired up. So I went to the bar and John Ross, the bar steward that was there, I said to John, "Who was that?" And John, typical dry voice, went, "That's Charlie, our club captain." I went, "Well, do you have any forms?" He said, "Yeah, I'll get you a couple of forms." He said, "You're going to join?" I went, "Yeah, I'll second you." So he seconded me and that was it. The rest is history.
Brilliant.
And it's a lovely family club. It really is, very friendly and it's part of the community.
Okay,
You know, which is an important thing.
Because you're right in the village, aren't you?
Yes,
You know?
yes. And so it's the heart of the community, and I think a lot of the people still use the bar and the restaurant and things like
Brilliant.
that. So it's very friendly, and I think it's what you need in a small area, you know. And it's a lovely course.
And how long have you been a member for?
24 years now.
24 years, yeah, okay. So seen a bit of change over that time?
I have, yes. I mean, like every other club, it has its ups and downs, you
For
know.
sure.
But we've had a lot of good ups and a lot of good changes, and we've got good green staff. We've good office staff, good manager, and Melanie, who's helping to run the club, and we had good vice captains, and the shop staff are absolutely brilliant. They're great with the clients, really friendly, you know, very helpful.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes a club, if people feel welcome, you know, and have a nice course to play on, and a nice club to come to, and a friendly club, which is important. And I think that makes all the difference. Plus a good dram.
Plus a good dram, yes, definitely. We'll be coming to that without doubt. And in terms of visiting golfers, I know a lot of them are drawn to the big marquee courses, but you would certainly welcome them here as well, wouldn't you?
Golfers from all over.
Yeah?
Yeah, and we get a lot of good reports on the course when they leave, which is important.
Yeah.
Because you need people to spread the word.
Definitely.
You know,
definitely.
so yeah, it's been really good.
And
very positive.
Do you think the James Braid kind of tie in? Does
yes,
that help draw people
I
towards
mean,
you?
You've got what, about 115 James Braid courses in Scotland.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you think of that connection, and members of these clubs coming to visit during the James Braid Society, it's a good build-up for the club, and it's good recognition too.
Yeah.
So we're actually producing a book at the moment, a chap, Riff Clark.
Okay.
And he's going to present it to James Braid's granddaughter, who's very keen to have it. So we're looking forward to that. That'll be a nice day, you know.
Superb.
It'd be nice to give it to her too, you know. So
brilliant.
Yeah, I think it'll be nice. It's a nice touch, you know, especially when she's taking an interest in her course.
Fantastic.
So once Riff's finished the book, we get it published, we'll do a wee presentation for her, and we'll get Riff and herself together. I think that'll be a nice touch. You know.
Superb.
Yeah, she's a lovely lady, you know, so it'd be nice to give her something back.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
In terms of changes on the course, Davy, what should we look out for?
Well, as changes, there's not been a lot of changes as far as we've always tried to keep it the way James Braid set out. I mean, bunkers have been moved, things like that, just to improve the course due to the way golf has progressed. The course itself hasn't really been lengthened that much. A lot of the character of the course of the heather and that is still the same, but we do have a new part of the course, which is we bought from Lord Levitt, and it's on the other side of the course. There's a part which I'll take you to.
Okay, brilliant.
I'll show you. The views there are really good. You'll see the whole of Inverness and the Beeley and Muir.
Superb.
Lovely views from it, so that's something I look forward to showing you.
Brilliant.
You know, once we get there. But the course itself, in a sense, hasn't really changed much. We still have the original holes across the road.
Okay, yeah.
So, you know, from the original course, which we don't want to lose. We use that for juniors. It's also used in the winter, because two of the holes on the other side of the course, you can't be used. So it's a good addition to the club as well.
Yeah.
You know, so apart from that, the course is still the same as it was when James Braid first came in, did the work.
Superb.
Yeah, so we're happy with that.
Cool. And one of the features of the course, David, the railway is in play.
That's the Wick line, takes you all the way down to Inverness and then down to Glasgow.
Okay.
Actually, we have one of the longest drives in Scotland from the first tee, and it was one of the lads hit the train with a golf ball, and it went all the way to Glasgow. So we actually have the record for the longest drive in Scotland, so, which is a good record to have.
Was he deemed out of bounds?
We didn't tell anybody.
Okay, let it go.
We just told it was the longest drive, and we left him at that. He was happy. So, and we got a dram out of him too, so it was...
That's to be expected.
Nice. Yes, I thought it was quite funny at the time.
Fantastic, brilliant.
But it is good for hitting the ball off the line. Sometimes you'll be lucky the ball will come back.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, I've seen that a few times. You'll hit a ball off the 14th tee, I'll hit the line. It's actually happened to me, and it's come back onto the fairway. But I played a provisional, and then realised after I finished the hole, somebody came up and said, "That's your ball."
So would that be called a return fair? Would it?
Return fair, yeah. Captain's bounce.
Captain's bounce.
Yeah, so with things like that. But these are the things that make the club.
Absolutely,
you know, and that's what brings a bit of laughter into it and makes the players and the members happy, because they're getting a bit of fun of it too. It's not serious. Sure. You know, so everybody enjoys themselves, and that, to me, that's important.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant. So if you could only play one course, Davy, which wasn't Muir of Ord, what course would that be?
Oh, I'd have to say St Andrews.
Okay.
I mean, that's the beginning of golf, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You played there before?
No. The nearest I got to playing it was on a putting green down beside it.
Was that the Himalayas, was it?
Yeah, I was on holidays.
Okay. Okay.
That's the nearest I've been to it.
Okay, right. One to look forward to then, eh?
Yes, I've got a friend coming up. He's a member there, so I'm hoping he's going to bring me down for a round.
Superb.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I look forward to that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So obviously, Davy, in terms of whiskies, we're very close to the world famous GlenWyvis Distillery, and a few bottles here that I'll touch on later. The two down the bottom here, so the manager's drams, caught my eye. One from Strathmill and one from Mortlake. What's kind of background to these bottles?
Well, these were just presentations from the managers.
Okay.
Normally, a bottle like that would probably just go to the staff.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're actually allowed to sell them. But this was more a gift from the managers as a thank you.
Okay.
To say, look, I've enjoyed your course, enjoy your company.
Brilliant.
I'd like to present you with this. And they're a nice whiskey, but it's not something the club would open. We'd rather we kept it, because it's a nice whiskey. It's quite an expensive one too.
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
sure.
You know?
Okay.
So it's something that it brings back memories of when they were here and played. So I'd like to.
So special occasion bottles.
Special occasion bottles.
Absolutely. No, these are
and
fantastic.
they're also signed by the managers. So I mean.
Oh, is that right? The managers that sign,
yeah? Bottom, you see.
Okay,
they have
brilliant.
Signature, so it's not something you want to lose.
No, absolutely. Yeah. No, those are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Davey, absolutely fascinating. Thanks for your insights on the drams
there.
there.
More than welcome.
It's a typical Highland sunny day, so head out the course, check it out.
Yes, I'll show you our course. I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
All good, man. Let's
Lovely.
go.
Thank you. The green here is actually protected historically, because I think it was part of an old abbey, and some of these stones that you see around it are actually part of the old building, so this can never be touched. It's actually protected historically, so it's a nice part for the course. It's actually had more hole-in-ones than this course than anywhere else. Yeah, it's one of the hardest holes to play.
So folks, we've had a great afternoon here of filming round with Melanie and Davey at Muir of Ord Golf Course. So just wanted to highlight 3 bottles, all relating to GlenWyvis, just along the road from us. The first one is a bottle they've taken out at the club to mark the 150th anniversary. It's a mix of bourbon and sherry casks, 46% ABV, and for the real whisky enthusiasts, our eye would always be drawn to the Thompson brothers of Dornoch's involvement here. I think it's fair to say anything Phil and Simon put their name to gives you a bit of reassurance that it's going to be great quality. So I'm looking forward to opening that one over this weekend. A little bit of a jump back in time. This one is still sealed. This is a real old school Glenord. Looks like a 50 CL bottle, but it is actually 75. And again, for the whisky enthusiasts, we'd be drawn to the fact this is 43% ABV, so a little bit higher than the standard 40 from Glenord. And last but certainly not least, and this one has had some market research done in it already, this is a James Eady bottling, 9-year-old Glenord, 56.2%, so again, water is your friend, and this was exclusively bottled for the Inverness Whisky Shop. For any whisky explorers who've been to Inverness, you've probably been in the malt room just beside the Victorian Market. So tiny little shop right across the lane, Inverness Whisky Shop, a lot of independent bottlings. There were a few done of their own casks, including this one. 318 bottles, first fill, Oloroso hogshead. Brilliant whisky, used this a couple of times at local tastings and it's gone down like a storm. So an alternative Glenord at cask strength, definitely recommend it. Some great drams, all from the local area. So, having moved on from Muir Golf Club, on our final destination for the day to Fortrose Rosemarkie Golf Club, we've hit a midway point of GlenWyvis Distillery in Dingwall. So we've come a little bit above altitude, and speaking here to Craig McRitchie of GlenWyvis, who I've known for a while, and we're going to talk through some drams on the barrel top in the ambience of the warehouse, which is very cool. So Craig, cheers for letting us in today.
No problem at all.
Time. So thought it'd be interesting for our viewers to just get a wee thought from yourselves about some of the drams I've still got in my GlenWyvis collection. Starting with a small but perfectly formed members release.
Yeah, so this one for us was this was very, very special. So this was actually the first legal liquid released from any distillery in Dingwall in almost 100 years. I highlight legal because I don't know what's been going on in the hills roundabout. But this was the liquid from the members release was part of our inaugural release. It was a 3-year-old whiskey, and for all of us here, it was a culmination of years and years of work. So it's cool. It was bottled, I think, at 50% ABV. It was very feisty, but holds a very special place in my heart.
Well, that's quite interesting because let's say I've only got a bit of this bottle left. 2 generous samples were given to 2 of my first whisky visitors to Inverness, who a concierge round, Alan Wilson, the whisky friend, and one of his patrons, Jerry from Las Vegas. They were both certainly feisty characters, so they had a good sample of that and they're a hip flask to go home again, which was cool. And the 2018 itself, which I know, again, I'm a member of the Aquavitae Barflies on YouTube, that was very well received by some of the real whisky experts down Central Belt of Scotland. Loved that one, yeah?
Yeah, no, the batch 218 was our first sort of more general release from the distillery. It took a lot of picking and choosing on which cask we would put forward. 8,000 bottles, which for us is a huge release. I know for many other distilleries it's quite limited, but for us it was huge, and it was nervous to see what the reception would be, from the wider public. When it went out there, but it was received very, very well, and it's now completely sold out. Absolutely, it's obviously has done well, so it's nice to see it again.
I'll savour the last few drops of that then.
Certainly.
The one bottle I don't have, because I'll go through them too quickly or give them away, is the 2019. which is dear to my heart because it's the first bottle I ever sold in my brief whisky retail career within about half an hour of starting my time at the Highland Whisky Shop. So that one is across, I think it was North Carolina, my visitors that day. So
brilliant. You know, you've always been a great ambassador for GlenWyvis, and I appreciate that, Hamish.
All good, man.
So the 119 was a wee bit different, where this one was more of your classic, you know, bourbon sherry cask maturation, your typical Highland single malt whiskey. The 119 was a mixture of bourbon and more speciality wine casks, trying to show the versatility of the distillery, because although we are very small, we're not beholden to any one particular style.
Yeah.
So we were trying to really highlight how versatile we can be with that dram.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. This bottle's full, but I have owned 2 other bottles which are no longer full of the UK exclusive Oloroso. What are we at? Just over 60% ABV, so quite a banger. And I know a tasting I did over at Glenmore Hotel on Burns Night, my first ever Burns Night. That went down very well with some local guys who maybe weren't as familiar with GlenWyvis, but really took that as a sherry banger.
Yeah, we started releasing single casks just a couple of years ago, and again the idea was also, you know, to highlight some of the real incredible stuff we have here in this warehouse. So this is one from our first year of distillation, which was 2018, and we found that our whiskey does seem to lend itself to sherry casks. So this was one we've just done for the domestic market, and again it went very well and is sold out. So as you say, cask strength, you know, so one you could easily sit and pour and sip away at all evening.
Yeah. And in terms of the casks themselves, Oloroso sherry casks, difficult to come by these days? Expensive raw material?
Yeah, no, I think I speak for the whole whiskey industry when I say, no, sherry casks are not as easy to get a hold of as they used to be, and the price, even when I started working here, has doubled.
Is that right? Yeah.
So it's they're quite special when you get them now, but that's why you see a lot more experimentation, you know, with different cask types these days, especially amongst us smaller distilleries.
Yeah. Well, you talk about experimentation, so the most recent bottling I think you put out, certainly the last one I bought, is the Drover, which has a whole lot of different casks involved in it. Yeah. Almost a whiskey smorgasbord going on with this one, yeah?
It is. So the Drover is a dram that holds a lot of special feelings for me, because this is the first whiskey I can really say like I've been involved in every part of the process, from the distillation, maturation, picking the casks, the brand and design and the idea behind it. And for me, it is a real whole circle of my whiskey journey. You know, I've been here at GlenWyvis for 10 years, just been the manager for the last year, and this Drover does highlight all of those things in one bottle. So it's got sherry cask, it's got Sauterne in there, some Madeira, beautiful rich sweet flavours. It's actually part of our Highland Legacy series, 3,000 bottles only, so there's not much left in the UK market actually, and there's bottles making their way around the world currently. But the aim was to have a series of at least 4 bottles which highlight the real Highland heritage that we have in this area, by paying homage to sort of old traditional professions that are maybe no longer quite as prominent. So the Drover we're in Dingwall, a historic droving town, so I thought that was a brilliant place for us to start.
And in terms of the artwork, because that was all specially commissioned artwork.
Yes, it's a local artist did the artwork for us, and she is also doing the artwork for subsequent releases. So again, trying to work within local people within our community definitely helps. No,
brilliant. Well, certainly the bottle always made me smile when I saw the label of it, because I think the first legal pint of lager I bought back in the 80s was now an Inverness pub called the Jolly Drover. So I'm not sure how they felt about this quality of whiskey back there. It might not have been for the clientele, but certainly a throwback to my early drinking days in Inverness for sure. You know. And in terms of plans between now and end of the year at GlenWyvis, Craig, what's in your mind?
Yeah, no, we're definitely keeping ourselves busy. I say we're quite a small team here. We've only got 4 employees, but you know, we all work very hard and wear many hats. So we're hoping to have a few extra releases before the end of the year on the whiskey side of things. I've got a few single casks that I'm looking forward to seeing the light of day. I won't say too much yet, but for our members as well, we've got quite a unique bottling towards the end of the year, which I'm looking forward to.
Superb.
As I say, that obviously with our Highland Legacy series as well, we're looking at maybe the second batch of that coming out as well towards the end of 2025. So lots of wheels turning, but lots of exciting opportunities ahead. And if you're a whiskey drinker or a GlenWyvis fan, you know, lots to keep your eye on.
Yeah, we will do. Anything non-whiskey related at all?
Well, yes, we've actually started really revamping our gin here at GlenWyvis. Although we are mainly a whiskey distillery, as you can see, gin has obviously been there from the beginning for us. So our sort of distillery operator, Kev, you know, he's a real gin master, and he has really revamped our standard Goodwill gin, and we've started doing a lot of small batch gins, which we let him get as mad scientist as he want with that, and
get his geek on.
Exactly. And they have sold it very well, you know, only maybe 100 or 200 bottles per batch, you know. And we've actually got a very exciting project coming up later in the year, collaboration with a very prominent local charitable organisation, but I can't say too much just now, but definitely keep your eyes peeled for that.
We'll watch that space, man.
Certainly.
Brilliant. So Craig, in terms of the history of GlenWyvis, for anybody not familiar with it, I know you and me have met 10 plus years ago before this was even a thing or sketched out the way. Obviously a lot's happened in 10 years. We've had COVID, we've had Brexit, tariffs of all natures, but for newcomers to GlenWyvis, give us a sense of the history and the journey so far.
No, my pleasure. Is that GlenWyvis as a project sort of kicked off in 2015. The idea was to bring whiskey distilling back to Dingwall, because the last distillery in Dingwall closed down in about 1926, so it's been, the town had been
almost
a long
100 years.
Exactly.
Wow.
So the town had been a long time without a whiskey distillery. So the idea was to build Scotland's first fully community-owned distillery. So in 2016 we went out with a crowdfunder of sorts, and we managed to attract almost 2,000 people in 6 weeks to get the project off the ground. You know, most of whom were the majority of whom were from our local area. I think 90% were from the UK as a whole, and I think that last time we sent from 31 different countries across the world. It was a fantastic group of people. So we set out on construction of the distillery in 2017 and finished construction late 2017. I think we actually had our opening day here on the 30th, on St Andrew's Day, 30th of November 2017, when this warehouse was completely empty, which was very hard to remember now. So our first casks we filled February 2018, and so the oldest casks in here are 7 years old. But it's been a really, really fantastic journey, you know, to be the first fully community-owned distillery in the country. We hope we're not the last as well, you know. It's great, you know, it's taking the back of that a little bit into the sort of the people's hands, you know, of Scotland's industry. We have given almost, I think, £30,000 to local causes, local charitable institutions over the last couple of years as well, which is the real cusp of GlenWyvis. We're also completely powered by renewable energy, you know, so our carbon footprint is very small. You know, we have renewables on site here. We get the electricity from, you know, wind, solar, hydro, and I believe we were the only second distillery in Scotland to have our stills completely powered by biomass boiler. We get the wood chip sourced locally as well, and whenever we can, we try to source as local as possible to reduce the carbon footprint. So GlenWyvis has been a long project. I say I've been here for 10 years. I had a lot more here when I started, but we've sort of shown, you know, like although we're a tiny fish in a pond dominated by sharks, we've shown that it can be done with this community model.
Absolutely.
And it's just bringing that forward and releasing good whiskey. You know, that's what it's all about. Yep.
Awesome. So Craig, one question for you. If you could only drink one whiskey and it wasn't GlenWyvis, what would it be?
I'm a big fan of Highland single malt whiskies, and I know going through my whiskey journey from the age of 18, I found I quite like sherry drams, and because I went to university in Aberdeen, I became quite well acquainted with GlenDronach Distillery at Forg near Huntly. So if I could probably had to drink a whiskey that wasn't my own, it would probably be a GlenDronach, specifically the 18-year-old Allardyce.
18 Allardyce, okay. That's an expensive hobby these days, isn't it? But worthwhile.
Definitely.
Excellent. Good choice, man. Good choice. So, after our great warehouse meeting up in the hills at GlenWyvis, we're back to golf and back down to sea level, literally. Fortrose Rosemarkie Golf Club, 15th oldest recorded course in the world. The common link with Muir is James Braid, who redesigned Fortrose almost 100 years ago. It's a narrow strip of land. When viewed from across the Moray Firth, it looks impossible there could be 18 holes here, far less having a public road running right through it. And the dram I've got is the club's own labelling of Glengoyne 12-year-old, 43% ABV, beautiful light whisky. For me, this is a regular one that I start my tastings with. It's like the easy par 4 to kick off with. So you would hope to have an easy first hole of your golfing round, like the one behind me here, which I have never butchered any time I've ever played here. A nice light crisp whisky to kick off the tasting with, for me, is perfect. Plunger. Hi folks, so just to finish up our day at Fortrose Rosemarkie, we're with Rob Douglas, one of the Highlands' foremost teaching pros. Question for you, Rob, with the sun at our back here, as ever in the Fortrose. If you could only play one golf course and it wasn't here, where would it be?
I'd say Rotherham. It's a special golf course and it's close by. Played lots of golf all over the world, but Rotherham's a special golf.
Okay, you've had some good rounds there in the past?
Yeah, had some good experiences. So
Yeah.
it was, it's always you get different weather every time.
Can you give us a number you've scored it?
Only 69, so
Only 69. Okay. Thanks for your time, Rob. Cheers.